Hi there, welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I am Theodore Henry. In today's show, strategies to protect the agriculture sector from predial larceny. Plus, get the facts on restricted and prohibited airspaces for drones and other UAVs. Sit back and relax for these and more to come as we turn the pages of Jamaica Magazine.
Mommy,
Yes, Zoe?
can we read this book? It will only take 10 minutes.
Sure, sit down. Every spring, Madame Angel Wing arranges a
Do you have 10 minutes? Read with your child today. Reading with your children for just 10 minutes each day helps develop their language and listening skills, stimulates their imagination, and expands their understanding of the world. So, start reading with your child today.
If you don't wear your seatbelt, this could happen to you. And the consequences could be disastrous. In an accident, the vehicle stops. Suddenly, you don't. Even at 30 miles per hour, your body will be thrown violently forward with a crash force of up to 10 times your weight. Always wear a seatbelt. Seatbelts save lives.
Flying one of these may be fun, but they can also be a tool for good and bad purposes. And so the government has established guidelines for their use. What are we talking about? Drones and other unmanned aerial vehicles. We'll get the facts on those guidelines next.
Drones, more formally known as unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, or unmanned aircrafts, are used by many persons for various purposes. In recent years, there has been an increase in drone ownership and use in Jamaica, prompting strict regulations by the authorities. Commercial drone users are required to get a special aerial work permit from the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, JCAA, each time a drone or other unmanned power-driven aircraft that flies without a human operator on board is to be used. This is important in order to address issues of aviation safety and security, as well as national security and privacy. Operators of drones and other unmanned aerial power-driven aircrafts must apply in writing to the JCAA, and the applicant must provide all details of the intended flight. The Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority mandates that drone users must not fly these devices at a height exceeding 400 feet or 122 meters above ground level. Also, recreational users must not go beyond the maximum range of 1,640 feet or 500 meters, or within 500 feet or 152 meters of an organized open-air assembly of people. Nor should these drones or UAVs be flown over or within 165 feet or 50 meters of any person. The guidelines also demand that persons not operate these aerial devices over a private or public property or dwelling without prior permission. Unmanned aerial devices should also not be operated at nights or during low visibility conditions. Persons are not to use drones or unmanned aerial vehicles to drop or discharge any item to the ground. The Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority's guidelines stipulate restricted and prohibited airspace where drones and other UAVs are either restricted or must not fly. In the restricted zones, drones are not allowed to take off unless a permit is obtained from the JCAA. Prohibited airspaces are designated where no flights by these devices are allowed. Some of the prohibited areas include Jamaica House, King's House, the Police Commissioner's Office, Jamaica Defense Force Up Park Camp, and the Petrojam Refinery. Restricted zones include flight training areas assigned to flight schools and the JDF Air Wing, Newcastle Training Base, and other JDF facilities across the island. There is a 5-kilometer or 3.1-mile radii no-fly zone for drones around aerodromes, as well as Norman Manley Sangsters and Ian Fleming International Airports. The policy in Jamaica is similar to industry practices in North America and the United Kingdom, where permission from the managers of the aerodromes and restricted or prohibited airspaces are sought prior to the issuance of a permit. So, for drone operation at or near aerodromes, communication is made with air traffic control, which will dictate flight times, which is included in the permit to the drone operator. All drone flights in prohibited and restricted airspaces will require a notice to airmen or NOTAM. The NOTAM is prepared by the JCAA and issued to the aviation industry in advance of the date the drone will operate, that is, 3 to 4 days lead time. The Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority demands that UAV users cease operation of these devices once a safety hazard is apparent and should not resume operation until the risk is resolved. All incidents that occur while using these aerial devices must be reported to the authority in order for the cause to be determined and for corrective measures to be implemented. The JCAA inspectors and law enforcement officers have the authority to intervene at any time. So, operators of drones and other unmanned aerial power-driven devices are encouraged to heed the regulations or face the penalty if the matter is brought before the court.
Nobody want to plant the can. Everybody want to read the band. Who you are go blame it on when it's a next man you are deep in pan. Well, you wrong.
Farmers, let us be serious about predial larceny. It is affecting all of us. If you are aware of incidents of predial larceny, make contact with your local police station or call Crime Stop at 311. Predial larceny is everybody's business.
The agriculture sector has been stifled by losses due to thieves. But with the increased attention being given to the problem, farmers are now able to draw on a variety of security strategies to safeguard their livelihoods. Find out what they can do in this feature.
Agriculture, the bread and butter of our farmers, the source of food for the nation, and a sector that contributes to economic growth and job creation for the country. However, despite the importance of this sector, it has been plagued by predial thieves, resulting in billions of dollars in losses each year.
If that is not corrected, no matter what we do in this country to encourage agriculture, it will, if not totally fail. So the time has come. And I say to the predial larceny unit, and I say to the security forces generally, the time has come to put an end to this plague on our land.
So government has put measures in place to safeguard the livelihood of farmers and protect consumers. The establishment of a predial larceny prevention unit is one such measure that has been helping to decrease produce and livestock theft. Members of the unit have been meeting with farmers and sharing tips on how to protect their farms. But the conversation doesn't stop there. Persons and organizations with vested interest in agriculture are lending their support in the fight to curtail predial larceny. Their technical high school has encountered predial theft, and so its students have come up with a technology-based system to secure farms.
This is a system where we have integrated different technologies in order to give us one system. So we have integrated laser beams, light and sound and visual. So here, the laser beams will surround the circumference of your farm. So anywhere on the farm you break, a laser beam will come on. And once that laser beam come on, the thief won't know about the laser beam, it's only the farmer. So that will more give you security on your farm.
Using the same laser system, the students have also designed a portable security system called a handy box that farmers can set up anywhere on their farms. The farmer must place the laser box at any section of the field, and the receiver box should face it at the opposite end. If a thief should pass through these two units, a signal is given.
This is an example of the handy box. So this is a box containing the laser, and this is the box with the receiver. So once you break the laser beam, it gives you sound and also light. And the visual is 360 degrees on your farm.
Justin tells us some of the things that are needed to set up the security system on your farm.
you'd need your camera, and we'd use IP cameras on the farm that give us wireless signal, and also we need our lasers. And based on the size of your farm and the range of you'd buy that amount of lasers, and you'd also need lights and an amplifier to amplify your sound.
Applied technology demonstrated by our youth to reduce farm theft. They are making themselves part of the solution to a long-standing problem that's affecting the agriculture sector.
I know as a fact that the young generation is determined to make a success of their country. We in Jamaica are in good hands.
Jamaica comes alive for Jamaica 55. The Jamaica Information Service is inviting primary, secondary, and tertiary students to catch the vibes and join in the celebration by participating in this year's staging of the JIS Heritage Competition. Primary and prep school children, ages 9 to 12, enter the essay competition and tell us how you would want to see Jamaica in 55 years. High schoolers, enter the poster competition. Show us your artistic interpretations of Jamaica throughout her 55 years in a poster titled Jamaica 55. Posters may be designed digitally or illustrated. Zoom, click, snap. Yes, tertiary students, the photo competition is back. Capture an image that best represents Jamaica 55. For more information on the competition rules and how to submit entries, visit the JIS website at www.jis.gov.jm. You may also send an email to heritageessay@jis.gov.jm, heritageposter@jis.gov.jm, or heritagephoto@jis.gov.jm, or call us at 926-3590-4. The deadline for all entries is October 31, 2017. So ready, set, go for prizes galore. JIS Heritage Competition 2017, celebrating Jamaica 55.
If you're watching the JIS, you're always in the know when it comes to government information. Keep watching, keep informed, and tell your friends. JIS, your #1 source for government info.
Our health is our wealth, and it may determine to what extent we are successful in achieving our life's goals. So good health, therefore, is important, especially for our youth. Find out what they can do to maintain good health in this feature.
Over the years, the prevalence of smoking among our youth from as early as age 13 has been steadily spiraling upward. The most recent Global Tobacco Youth Survey showed that smokers in the age group 13 to 15 increased from 15% to nearly 25% over a 9-year period. This trend is of concern, considering the ill effects of smoking.
Cigarette smoking is associated with nearly every cancer you can imagine. Cancer of the tongue, cancer of the breast, cancer of the cervix, cancer of the pharynx, cancer of the stomach, just to name a few.
There are over 4,000 chemicals in cigarettes that are harmful to the human body.
For example, chemicals that are found in embalming fluid, what is used to preserve dead bodies, chemicals which are found in rat poison, insecticide, chemicals that are found in battery. All of these chemicals are found in cigarette.
Among young people, the short-term health consequences of smoking include respiratory and non-respiratory effects, addiction to nicotine, and the associated risk of other substance abuse. Long-term health consequences of youth smoking are reinforced by the fact that most young people who smoke regularly continue to smoke throughout their adult years. Tobacco can affect youth activities and athletic performance as it narrows blood vessels and puts a strain on the heart.
In addition to traditional cigarette smoking, there have been some rising new trends among our youth.
We have observed a lot of parties, what they call the hookah parties. So the hookahs now comes in different flavors. So there's this myth about there that the hookah pipe is much safer than the smoking cigarette because the water inside of it actually filters out the smoke. But the research it actually does show that the hookahs still can cause cancer, TB, or even an STI because most persons, when they share the tip of they don't change it. So if a person has one STI, actually can pass to the other person.
Then there are e-cigarettes.
The e-cigarettes don't have tobacco per se, but they have nicotine, they have other chemicals in it, and many of them come flavored. They are glamorized, right, because many of them are marketed by celebrities, and they are touted as being relatively safe. But not because they don't have tobacco and many of the other chemicals that are seen in cigarettes, they are not necessarily safe. They do have other chemicals. And one chemical that is seen in some of the flavorings that are used in e-cigarettes is called diacetyl. Diacetyl is a chemical that was used to make the buttery flavor that was used to give microwave popcorn that taste. It was then banned because the factory workers in the factories making the microwave popcorn got ill.
Another popular smoking option among teenagers is marijuana. But does marijuana or ganja smoking pose any risk to the teenage smoker?
The research does show that there's a big difference between a teenager smoking and an adult smoking. And the simple fact is this, is that your brain is not fully developed until age 22, 23. So there's a part of the brain which controls the executive function of the body, weighing consequence, all of these different things. So when you start using drugs at an early age, it actually impacts that part of the brain. So that's why you do have some of the students, so if you realize they're not doing well in class, right? It's like they get very upset or angry easily. All the research shows that once you start smoking from an early age, the long-term consequences are more severe. For example, in the 30s, if you start smoking as a teenager, later on in life, when it lowers your IQ level.
The Jamaica Cancer Society cites peer pressure, stressful relationships, and unresolved challenges at home as the three main reasons for teenage smoking.
Unfortunately, many young persons are under the mistaken impression that cigarettes eliminate stress. This is certainly not so. We therefore encourage students to seek help from their parents and teachers to resolve any issues that they may be facing. Do not turn to smoking for answers.
To help teenagers quit smoking, there is the Fresh Start Smoking Cessation Program, offered by the Jamaica Cancer Society in association with the American Cancer Society.
This is a comprehensive 4-session group-based course that covers issues such as nicotine addiction, managing withdrawal symptoms, weight control, stress management, recognizing and planning for possible obstacles to quitting, staying tobacco-free, and enjoying being a non-smoker.
There's also an annual anti-tobacco youth forum held in February to educate high school students about the dangers of smoking.
Many young people feel that lung cancer in particular is a disease of the elderly, and that they have years ahead of them before the dangers of smoking will affect them. So it is our responsibility to educate and to be able to tell our younger folk, don't start if you haven't started, and to stop if you actually have, because the dangers of cigarette smoking actually start from day one, from that first cigarette.
For more information on programs to help teens quit smoking, contact the Jamaica Cancer Society at 927-4265 or visit their website at jamaicacancersociety.org. You may also call the National Council on Drug Abuse at 926-9002-4 or visit their website at ncda.org.jm.
Private security companies, effective October 1, 2017, it will be mandatory to make salary deductions on behalf of security guards for the Private Security Regulation Authority's health insurance scheme. In order to register and renew licenses, companies are expected to provide proof that security staff are on the scheme. For more information, contact the Private Security Regulation Authority at 967-2522 or visit their website at psra.gov.jm.
The foundations of corporate empires are usually rooted in the minds of young, bright men and women who've dared the risks of becoming entrepreneurs. First, identifying opportunities that can create wealth, products and services that are in demand, and meeting those needs with unique innovation. Planning and establishing a business is no easy task, and operating successfully for any extended period is an even tougher job. But Jamaica's youth entrepreneurship policy and strategy gives young people with good business ideas a chance to operate more thriving long-term businesses and create their own income. Youth entrepreneurship is encouraged by both public and private organizations. It is also being fostered within schools and communities to instill the business bug early. And with more young persons owning businesses, they'd be helping to drive economic development and job creation, all of which can make a difference in the lives of other people. And that explains why support has been growing in areas of financing for startup and business experience. Government over the years has established various agencies for helping the youth set up and run their businesses. The National Center for Youth Development, NCYD, for example, continues to empower youth in entrepreneurship. Both attached and unattached young people are able to benefit from access to information through the establishment of youth information centers across the island and various programs that include training. Government has partnered with organizations such as Jamaica Youth Business Trust to provide venture capital funds for persons under the age of 30, collateral requirement being only a sound business plan and a willingness to accept a mentor from the private sector. There is also the Youth Entrepreneurship Program, YEP, giving school leavers at the secondary and tertiary levels with strong entrepreneurial spirits the benefit of training and access to financing. Youths also have access to various business support services provided by the Jamaica Business Development Corporation, the premier business support organization. From the conception of a business idea, young entrepreneurs can get help through the stages of developing the business, planning, financing, starting, marketing, and growing. Indeed, the window of opportunity is open for our youths to access business support at the highest professional levels.
And now for some of the stories in our news this week.
Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. The National Solid Waste Management Authority received 11 new compactor garbage trucks this week to bolster its sanitation program across the island. They were bought at a cost of $215 million.
It is the intention of the Ministry Prime Minister in the new year coming to place more money in the budget to secure new trucks.
This week also brought news that the enterprise team established to manage the island's waste-to-energy program has completed a pre-feasibility study. Findings of the study will now be shared with various entities for consultations to begin, among other things, on the prospects of public-private partnerships for contracting out solid waste management and collection.
Now, when that is fully developed, you will start to see a major difference in our environment. It will be a more efficient operation. You will have less garbage on your street, and as a taxpayer, maybe you will have less burden because it will be a far more efficient operation.
The National Works Agency is about to embark on a $27 million hot mix patching program along several roadways in the western parishes of Westmoreland, Trelawney, St. James, and Hanover. This patching program will come on stream within another 2 weeks, targeting the worst affected sections of a number of roadways across the region. Jamaica and China have entered a 3-year partnership to share resources and expertise in swimming, synchronized swimming, badminton, gymnastics, volleyball, football, and basketball. Coaches from China will visit Jamaica for a month followed by a Jamaican contingent of 138 athletes, coaches, and support personnel heading to China for 2 months to train and participate in competitions. The Chinese government is funding the $7 million project, which includes the provision of equipment.
I look forward to the commitment that is made by all the sporting associations here that will benefit from the program. That the program will be well managed by you and the goals we set out to meet will be achieved.
The Office of the Children's Advocate has opened a therapeutic playroom that will be used by its investigations unit to treat and counsel children who have gone through traumatic experiences.
And we see this playroom as really providing that space that will be conducive to having that child relax a little bit more, find some more ease with disclosing what is a very painful experience, as opposed to being locked in an office where they're sitting around a desk with somebody who's merely recording a statement.
Cabinet has approved amendments to the Pharmacy Act, which will, among other things, allow nurse practitioners to prescribe medication for some conditions up to a certain point.
That amendment, by the way, also includes bringing into the process things like nutraceuticals, pharmacy technicians, and what their role is and so on. So it's a comprehensive review.
And the Bustamante Hospital for Children now has a state-of-the-art learning center following the recent donation of several computers and accessories, a new air conditioning unit, and free expanded Wi-Fi service. The donations were provided by a US-based charity and several local companies through the Governor General's I Believe initiative.
And we really want to thank you for your contribution, because we believe that what we do here also sets the foundation for many children going back home. So while they're away from school, it is important we continue the education. It's part of the whole healing process, that they feel positive about themselves.
And those were some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.
And that brings us to the end of today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. Join us again tomorrow when we'll do this all over again. Until then, you can click online at jis.gov.jm and visit our YouTube channel to get the latest government information. Also, follow us on Twitter and Facebook and download our app from the Google Play Store to stay informed. On behalf of all of us here at the JIS, I'm Theodore Henry, wishing you all the best. Till next time, take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.